Welcome back. President Biden is blaming guns, not criminals, not bad policy, for the spike in crime in New York City. The president visited with New York City Mayor Eric Adams yesterday, seemingly pushing away from the progressive push to defund police. Watch this.
The answer is not to defund the police. It's to give you the tools, the training, the funding to be partners, to be protectors, and community needs you and know the community.
Crime in New York City is up 38% in the last 28 days. This is the period ending January 30th. Of course, we know that crime has been skyrocketing for a year. Joining me right now is former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis. Commissioner, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for all that you've done over the years. Your reaction to what you heard in New York yesterday, and what do you think is behind this spike in crime?
Well, it was encouraging to hear the president say that the police needed resources and support, mostly. I think that's the biggest problem. But just to concentrate on guns is not the answer here. The actual problem relates to the fact that we know that a small number of people commit a large number of the crimes. And right now, the police have been painted as the bad guys, and the people who are committing assaults and murders are being given sympathy by the community and people making decisions. And that's putting in the mind of the criminal this idea that they can get away with things. We have to address that first.
Yeah. Well, look, on the campaign trail, Kamala Harris said that she wanted to see bail reform across the country. Not just, no cash bail in New York, but across the country. And, Ed, we've got crime spiking across the country. Over a dozen major cities right now we're talking Chicago, L.A., New York, Philadelphia, are setting new records for homicides in 2021. Your reaction to that as you see murder at 25-year highs in these cities?
Maria, I've talked to my colleagues across the country. That statement is a ridiculous statement. It is flying in the face of what people are seeing happening in their cities. Keeping violent criminals away from the community is what the job of the criminal justice system is. And if we're saying that everyone should be released immediately, we are going to increase crime, increase murder in the communities. And politically, it's a foolish statement to make that claim, because you really do basically have to pay attention to what's going to happen as a result of your actions. When the vice president says release all of these people, they will be on the street and more people will be killed and assaulted. And that's going to come back to haunt them. So I don't understand why we're still going down this route when you see what's happened in New York. Officer Rivera, Officer Mora murdered. This is something that needs to be addressed by the government, and it's not being addressed right now.
No, it's not. And, this is the clear-cut reason that we've seen a spike in crime. Now the White House says it's working on an executive order on police reform. It's going to be released next month, likely. This order is going to be addressing what Biden says is the legacy of systemic racism in policing, creating a national officer misconduct database, reform body cam policies, banning chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Ed, this is all, once again, trying to correct the police rather than correcting their bad policy. There has been no mention of bail reform, no mention of the fact that they took away bail, and that's why you've got criminals back on the street. Look at this executive order that he wants to come out with. It's all about reforming police, as if it's their fault.
Right. It is putting the blame on police, and pandering to progressives is not going to solve the crime problem. In 1994, we were called to the White House, my colleagues and I, and we were asked to partner with the community and to reduce crime. And we did that. People like Bill Bratton and Ray Kelly saved lives in New York City. And now what we need is the White House to say to the community, partner with the police. We need that same kind of respect that we gave to the community back then. It worked. It's pragmatic. Pandering is not going to fix this.
All right. Ed, we'll be watching this. Thanks very much for being here. Ed Davis joining us on the spike in crime. Stay with us. We'll be right back.